Welcome to this video where I'll show you exactly how I created this shape cutout effect that you will see shortly using just my mobile device. So the very first thing you want to do to create that is to start a new project. I'm just going to click the new project button. And when this opens up, as you know, the very next thing you have to do is to select the clips that you want to have in your edits. All right. So in that video, I made it of 2 clips, and this right here are the clips that I used, 1 and 2. So I'll select that. If you have any video or any clip that you want to use for your edits, you can go ahead and select that and click on add. So once I click on add, the 2 clips are going to open in my timeline here, as you can see them here. Okay, so I'm going to rearrange this. This one that is at the front here was the second video. All right, so I'm just going to hold this and adjust. Good. So now if you notice, the transitions that I use in that edit were synced to the beats of the audio. All right, that is one great way that you make your edits very, very beautiful, by syncing the transitions to the beats of your audio. It makes it visually appealing and retains attention. All right, so after importing my clips, the very next thing that I will do now is to add my audio. I already have the audio downloaded in my device, so I'll just go ahead and add that by clicking on audio, going to sounds, and then going to this folder here, clicking on device, and I'll scroll down to the audio. I think this is the audio right here. I'll play this to confirm. All right, that is it. So I'll add this audio. Now I have my audio in my edit. All right. So now the very next thing I'll do is to generate the beats. Like I said earlier, all the transitions and the effects that I use were synced to the beats of this audio. Okay, so what that simply means is I just made things come on the screen here while beats were playing in this audio. Okay, so to do that, I'm just going to auto generate the beats, and to generate the beat of this audio now, I'm going to head over to beats. If you do not know what this is, if you do not know what I am saying, or what the tools that I am talking about means, please, you need to learn about CapCut, all right? And for that, I have created a free CapCut mastery course. It's a free course, okay? All you need to do is go to our Facebook page for a 6 Tech Academy, send a WhatsApp message with the WhatsApp button you will find on the page, request for the free mastery course, and you'll be given access to it, all right? The course is going to train you on how to use every single CapCut tool, both on mobile and desktop. All right, so head over there and take that free course now. So back to this, I'll just hit auto generate beats, and I'll have all my beats generated in the audio right here. So after doing that, I'm going to click on done. So now that I have my beats generated, the very next thing I want to do is to trim my audio. All right, this very first one is too long, so I'll just have to trim it so that I can transition into this very next one exactly where I want it to transition. All right, so now I'm going to play this audio. I'm going to play this so that I will see exactly at what point did I made it change into the next video. All right, remember I did all the transitions using syncing it with the beats of this audio. So I'm just going to play this now to see. Okay, so right from this point here, where it made that water drop sound, this was exactly where it transitioned into the next video. All right, as you can see, this beat marker that is here. So I'm just going to put my marker here exactly where that beat marker is. I'm going to put that. I'll select the audio and click on split. So after splitting, I am then going to delete this unwanted part that I have here. So I'll click on delete, and as you can see, this other video have been adjusted to this point. So I'll play that to show you exactly the effect that have now, syncing that transition with the beat of this sound. I'll play this. Did you see that? Let me play this again. Perfect. So syncing your transitions or your effects with the beats of your audio will change the look of whatever you are editing. It brings it to life. Trust me, it adds emotions to your edits. All right. So now to create those shape cutouts, I used two things. I used overlays and the mask feature. All right. So I'm going to show you exactly how I did that. The very first thing I want to do is to import the second footage. Remember, in this first section, I use this second video as the overlays right here, okay? And in the second section, I use this first video as the overlays right here, okay? So I'm just going to add an overlay right now to show you exactly how I can do that shape cutout effect, all right? So I'll go back, hit on overlay, add overlay, and I'm going to first of all add this first video. I'll click on add. So after adding that, you're going to find the overlay on your screen here, just as you can see in this section. All right. So what I'm just going to be doing here now is to resize this and position it into where I want it to be. And then I'm going to duplicate that into 4 places. That is exactly what I did. And then I will adjust the positioning here to fit where these bit markers are, okay, to create that effect of it coming in exactly when there is a bit. All right, so that is exactly what I did, and that is exactly what we'll be doing now. All right, so to resize this, I'm going to have it selected. I'm going to scroll all the way down to transform first of all, because I want to increase the size. Let me take the size to 100. Once again, if you do not know what all these tools are, please please head over to our Facebook page, send a WhatsApp message so you can get the free CapCut Mastery course now. All right. So when I'm here, I'll come over to Zoom and I will increase this to 100. As you can see, it has fit perfectly well in the screen. Okay. So I'll click on done. I'll go back. Then I'll go over to mask. So when I'm here, this is the section where I can resize this overlay with whatever shape that I want. All right. So I'm going to select this rectangle shape. This is the exact one that I used in that video. So I'll select this. As you can see, it has changed the size of this overlay. It has made it smaller. Okay. Remember our first aim to resize this. All right. So I'm just going to adjust to further adjust how I want this to be resized. Now this section here is where you can perfectly resize the shape in masking. All right, now I can manually move this around with my fingers, but it might be a challenge to perfectly place this where I want it to be. So that is why I'm going to be using all these sliders here to perfectly arrange this. Okay, so the very first thing I want to do is to work on the size. I'm going to go over to size, and then I can now adjust this. Let me put this like this. I think this is okay. And then I'm going to increase the length. I think this is fine too. Good. So after doing that, the next thing I want to do is to change the position. I want to leave this at 0 so that it be at the center. 0. Okay. Then I want to move this one a little bit upward. Okay, so you can see I can manually adjust this like this. I'm using my slider right now to move this upward. Okay, bring this back to 0. So if this comes down a little bit further, all right, so I'm just going to leave that there. Good. So the very next thing I did is to change the edges. I made them round, and I did that with this feature right here that said round corners. All right, so I'll just drag this down and put it to 20. 20 is fine. So after doing that, I'll click on done. All right, guys, so we now have this beautiful shape cutout effect. All right, this is exactly how I created that, and it is not difficult at all. So the very next thing I just did was to just hold this and put it exactly where this first bit came in. All right, so when that bit drops, that is exactly when this effect is going to come on the screen. This overlay, that is when it is going to come on the screen. So I'll play this now to show you exactly what that looks like. All right. Did you see that? Good. So this is a concept that you can use in any type of video that you are editing in CapCut. Trust me, it brings life. It adds emotion to that edit, syncing your transitions or your effects to the beats of the audio. That is something that you always want to remember as a video editor. All right. So since I have this here, one thing I'm going to do now is to ensure that I sync this overlay with this main clip right here. All right. So since this is where it started, I'm just going to trim this here. I'll come over here, and I'll hit split. I'm going to split this here. I'll select this and hit split, and then I'll delete this part that I don't need. Now, in order for me to sync this one and this one, what that means is when this video comes to an end, I don't want this one to start from the beginning or all over again. Okay, I want it to start exactly where this one stopped. Remember, they are the same videos. So how I'm going to do that is I'm just going to drag this, put it at the beginning here where this one started from, then head over here. Automatically, I know that it ends here, right? So I'm going to head over here, select this part, hit split, and then delete this part. I'll select this part and delete it. Good. So now I can now adjust this video. I can now adjust this overlay down to this very first part. Perfect. So the very next thing that we will do now is to just duplicate the overlay, readjust it, and put it right where the next bit came in. That is exactly what we will do. It is not difficult at all. So to do that, I'm just going to click on the overlay, head over to duplicate. This is duplicate. And then I'm going to hold this, drag it down, and position it here. Now I want to show you something. All right. The same way I ensured that this second video started exactly the same place where this first overlay stopped. That is exactly the same thing we'll do here now. All right. Now, if I drag this one that I have duplicated, if I drag it and put it here just like this, I want to show you something. First, let me change the position. So I'll select this. I'll go over to mask. I'll hit adjust, and then I'll go over to position, and I'll change the position by bringing this one down. All right. So if I put this one here, I just want to show you something. So if I put this one here, all right, I'll click on done. Now watch what happens when I play this video. Okay, did you see? Now I want you to notice something, right? Where this one is playing, where this very one is playing, and where this first one is playing, there are two different parts of the video. All right, and it should not be so because it does not look great. I want you to look at the top of this second overlay right here. Look at the top of this second overlay. Let me hit undo. Look at the top and look at the bottom of this one. They should be synced together. What I mean is they should be showing the same part of the video. Now, because this very first one here started here and this second one started here, that is why it is giving us that effect. They are not synced together. Okay, now watch that again as I play. Did you notice that? Good. So now to fix that, I'm going to hold this one and drag it to this beginning. Perfect. Now the both of them are going to start at the same place. Can you see the changes? They are going to start at the same place. Good. So once I know that they will start at the same place, now I can now select this second one and trim it. I will now trim it to start from where the second bit came in. I'm going to play this now so that you see the difference. All right. Did you see that? Did you see how it now moves simultaneously and looks more professional? Yes. So these little tricks, trust me, they change the look of your video. They make it look really, really, really professional. All right. So I have just added two. I will go over now and add the remaining two by repeating the same process. Okay. Alright, so I have just successfully added the 4 overlays, and this is exactly what we have here. As you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, and they came in exactly where the beat dropped and added that smooth effect. Alright, so this is called the Shape Cutout Effect, and it is something that you can use to change the look of your edit. So at the beginning here, I added an animation to match the beginning sound of this video. The animation I used was this. I'll head over to animations, and then this wormhole, this free animation was what I used, okay, to match that zoomed in effect at the beginning of the sound. So I'll select this, now click on done. Can you hear that sound? Did you hear the sound? Did you hear it? Perfect. So I'm going to play this to see what it looks like. Did you see that? So adding effects, adding animations, adding overlays, and syncing them with the audio that you have, trust me, that is one technique that you always want to make use of whenever you are editing. It adds emotion and retain views. All right, so now the very next thing I did was to come over to this second clip. I also added an animation here at the beginning of this video. The animation I added was this. I head over to animations, and it was this slight fading animation. Perfect. So to match with that water drop sound, all right, like something goes off and comes on. All right, so I'll click done. After clicking that, it is now time for me to add the second overlay in this part. All right, so I'll just repeat the same process, but this time around I will just change the positioning of the overlays that we are going to create. All right, what I did in this one was to know exactly where I wanted the video to stop, and then I counted the amount of beats that was there. Okay, so counting the amount of beats will help me know the amount of overlays that I want to use, and also decide where I want to position them at each beat. Okay, so I think I'll just play this to see exactly where that video ended. All right, I'll play this. All right, so this is the part that I want to delete. So I'm going to delete this part and also trim my audio as well. I'll select the audio and hit split. Now delete this part. Perfect. Also delete this TikTok part that says ending. I don't need that. Delete that. Good. So now, just like I said, I want to count the amount of beats that I have in this section. All right. So just to explain this to you, sometimes the beat markers that you auto-generated would not be accurate. All right. So if you notice that sometimes it is accurate, sometimes it is not. So if you notice that, all that you need to do is to manually count the beats to know exactly where they dropped and what to do. And also, you can also manually add beats if these ones that they have added here are not accurate. Okay. So I'm just going to play this, count the beats, and ensure that I know exactly how many overlays I want to add now. So I'll play this. All right, so I have 8 beats here, and I observed something that at this part, let me play this part. Good. At this particular part where it had 3 beats, right? I have only 2 beat markers here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to auto-generate a beat marker at this point so that I can use that in what I am editing. All right. So I'll select this, go over to beats, and add a beat exactly at this point. I'll do that by using this add beat button. So it has just added another beat at this point. All right. So if I play that now, it is going to indicate that I have 3 beats. So you can go ahead and play this thing. Well, wherever you hear that it made the sound, you can manually add a beat there. Okay. So I'll just click on done, go back here, and now I can now add my overlays. Remember, we are using this second video for this section. All right. So I'll just go back, add overlay, add overlay, then I'll select the first video. I'll click on add. Now that I have the video imported, what I'm going to do now is remember that this first video, after all the cutout effects had come in, it also transitioned to the first video, and it transitioned exactly at this point. I think at this point here, let me play this. Let me play this again to see. All right, so exactly at this point here. So I'm going to trim this one once again. I'm going to cut this here by hitting splits. Then I'll delete this part. So after deleting that part, I'm going to click on add and add this video to this part again. All right, so I'll click on add, select the video, and add this to this part. Perfect. Let me reduce this a little bit. Let me zoom out. Okay, good. So now I'm going to position this exactly where this first bit came in. Let me play this to ensure. All right, so this is exactly where the first bit came in, right from where you see this first bit marker here. So I'm just going to adjust this, put it here. Good. When I have that there, I automatically know that this overlay has to end here, right? So I'm going to select this one, hit split, and delete this unwanted part. Now remember, I still have to sync this with this particular one here that is on the main clip. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is this. I'm going to hold this, drag it to the beginning of this, all right, so that I can perfectly trim this here. So I'll select this one, hit split, and then delete the unwanted parts that I do not need. So now I can now drag my overlay back and position it right here. Okay, so let me see what that will create. Perfect. So now, just as we did in this first section, the only thing that I'll have to do here is just to resize my overlay and position it into where I want it to be. Okay, now let me show you something. For this section, what I did was I created 5 overlays, okay, for the first 5 bits. And the position where I had those overlays were one at the center here, one at the top left, one at the top right, one at the bottom right, and one at the bottom left. Okay, so just look out for that as I will be doing this. So I'll just undo everything that I've done, take this back to the center. Good. So now I'll select the overlay, head over to transform first of all, so I can increase the size. I'll increase this to 100. Good. And then I'll click on done. And now I will go back to I'll go back to mask. I'll select mask, and then I'll select the rectangle shape. You can choose whatever shape of your choice. And now I'll select adjust. So now the only thing I want to do here now is to just increase the size a little bit, increase the length. So I'll just increase this a little bit to this point. All right, and I want to reduce this also a little bit. Okay, let me reduce this a little bit. Reduce this also a little bit. Good. I'll add some round corners. Let me increase this to 20. Perfect. And now I'll click on done. Good. So now I have just added this, and as you can see, I did not change the position. It is still at the center. Okay, remember what I said. I want to add one at the top right, one at the top left, one at the bottom right, and one at the bottom left. Okay, so to do that, it is not difficult at all. I'm just going to select this, hit duplicate, drag this down to this section here. All right, so I'll select this now and just change the position. Okay, so to change the position, I'll come here, hit mask, hit adjust, go to position, and now I can now change this. I'll change this to put it at the top right. Can you see what I'm doing? Can you see what I'm doing? I'm just going to put this here. Put this here. Perfect. So now it is at the top right of this edit. Okay, so after doing that, I'll just click on done, then I'll ensure I trim it to where the next bit came in. Let me trim this. Perfect. Let me ensure that it is at the next place. Perfect. So you see, it came at the top right. So that is exactly what I would do for this first 5 shape cutout. So I'm just going to go ahead and add one to the top left, add one to the bottom right, and one to the bottom left. So now I have just perfectly added the 5 overlays, and I ensured that they came in exactly where the bit dropped in this video. Okay, so now the very first 5 have been added. Now if you watch that video, after the first 5 came in, before these 3 sections, before these 3 other bits, I cut them here, which means that they all disappeared. Okay, now to make them disappear, all I have to do is to trim them at this section. So I'll select this, select splits, delete, select this one, select splits, delete the unwanted part, select this one, select splits, and delete the unwanted part. Come down here, split, delete, come here, split, delete. All right. So now when it went off here, can you see I have 5 of them here, and in this section they are all off. Okay, so when it went off here, let me play this. All right, so when it went off there, the very next bit I brought an overlay again, the same overlay at the center, but this time with a feathered edge. Okay, I will show you exactly how I did that. So I came to this section here, select one of these, I'll hit duplicate, I'll duplicate that, and then I will ensure it is long enough. Let me zoom this in a little bit so that we can see what we are doing clearly. I'll ensure that it is long enough. Good. And then I'll drag this to the bottom, ensure that it is synced with this one. I'll put this here, extend it a little bit. Let me extend it. I hope you know exactly why I'm doing this, okay? So that when this one stop, when all this one stop, it is going to start exactly from the same place. So I'll trim this here. I'll trim this, good, to start from exactly where this first bit came in, okay? So as you can see, the position here, it is right here. But I want to change this. I do not want it to be here, all right? I want it to be at the center. To do that, let me first of all undo what I did. To do that, I will go over to mask, hit adjust, and then bring the position back to center. Let me take this to 0, take this to 0, take this other one to 0 too. So 0, 0 means it is at the center. All right, perfect. So the size, I want to increase this a little bit. I want to increase a little bit in size. Okay, so I think this size is okay. Perfect. Then for this one, I added a feather. So this is what feather means. It means you're just going to make it look blended with the background. All right, do you see how that looks? Perfect. So I'll click on done, and then this is the effects that it is going to create. Watch what happens. Did you see that? Did you see that? Watch it. Did you see it? So now I've added the first one. I'm going to do the same thing and add another one there for this second bit. Okay, so I'll quickly select this, hit duplicate. I'll drag this down as well. Perfect. Then first of all, I'm going to make it align with this one. Let me increase this. After making it align with this one, I'll select this, adjust it to where this second bit came in. Okay. Then this very first one, I'm going to cut it here because I want it to go off this time around. I want it to go off. Take notes. All right. So when it goes off, I will just have to increase the size of this one to create that zoom in effect. So I'll select this, hit split, delete this part that I don't need. So this is exactly what it will look like now. Okay, so when this one comes on, at this second bit is going to go off, this other one is going to come in. So to make this one different, I'm just going to increase the size a little bit. So I'll select this one, head over to mask, it adjusts, go over to size, and then I'm going to increase the size of this one. So let me just increase this like this and increase this like this. Let me increase this a little bit further. Increase this a little bit further. Okay, I think this is good. So I'll click on done. I'll click on done. Now see exactly what this creates. All right, so let me play this from here. Did you see that? Did you see what that created? Let me play that again. Watch it again. Perfect. So now this is exactly how I created this cutout effect. Okay, now in this section, the audio ended somewhere around here. I'm just going to trim this here. Let me trim this here. Let me go back. So I'll select this one. I'll trim this here. Select this one. I'll trim this here. So I'll delete this part, delete this, and delete this. Now for this other section, I just added a slow zooming animation, okay, to add more life to it. And how did I do that? I went over to animation. I selected this zoom out effect. Yes, I remember. Zoom out effect. Okay, so I'll click on done. And guys, that is exactly how I created what we have in that video. So I'll just play this from here to show you exactly what this ending part looks like. Perfect. So this is exactly how I created that shape cutout effect. This is something that you want to implement in whatever type of video you are creating. Okay, I've just showed you how to do that and to add more life to your edit. All right, so if you enjoyed this video, give this video a thumbs up and do not forget to hit that subscribe button so that you do not miss out on any updates from me. All these updates are things that are going to take your editing skills to the next level. All right, I'll see you in the next one.